Welcome inside the Fantasy Champion Show. It's the special edition, the mid-season report card. I'm Nick Anastos along with Bob Morin, taking a look at the Players Club, ESPN Dynasty IDP League, year number 11. I have the sitting champ sitting next to me in Bob Morin. We'll take a look at his New Hampshire Black Bears coming up. We'll go down the list, starting from the top of the leaderboard all the way to the bottom. The disappointments, the overachievers, the contenders, the pretenders. We've got them all, and we're going to go over it right now here on the Fantasy Champion Show. All right, let's begin at the top. And it's been a remarkable run over the last year and a half for the South Bend Golden Dome. They were the team to beat last year at 12-2 in the regular season. Made an appearance in the championship before falling to the man on my right. So total, that is 13-3 if you add in the two postseason games. This season, halfway point, 7 games in the bag. South Bend is the team to beat again at 6-1. So that is now 19 wins in the last 22 tries for Golden Dome. Clearly the team to beat at the midway point.
Yeah, and we said this in the first edition of this show for the Players Club, that this was the paper champ, and he was going to be tough to beat. He's loaded. He had another good draft, a lot of depth. Yeah, he's still the team to beat, but he has a tough matchup this week. So
I give him an A because you can only do what you're supposed to do. He was the paper champ. You say, yes, the team to beat. So that kind of creates a new set of standard for a team that might have less to work with on the roster at the beginning. But again, 6-1, can't complain, in first place, team to beat, he gets an A.
Yeah, I'm going to give him an A. I can't argue with that because of all the points you hit are absolutely correct. He's got everything to work with, so I don't think you can really mess that up unless you're the Sandman.
Now, what about moving forward down the road? Because he was hit with some injuries towards that playoff run. He was deep enough to be able to get at least an appearance into the championship, but he's healthy right now. But does he keep his fingers crossed week to week moving forward through the second half of the season?
Yeah, we'll see. He has Jimmy Graham right now. I bet he's probably hoping he comes back to form. That was a big part of his team last year, and he had a solid start to the season.
Yeah.
We'll see. I know he has a decent backup, though. It's Kyle Rudolph, so, he's having a good year, too. But I think this week's matchup, he's going to take a loss, and he knows it, and so do I. So it's going to happen. I'm actually playing him this week, and I think his matchups are good, but he's due to lose. He's 6-1. Fantasy's a numbers game. We'll see what happens.
Bob can only hope. In second place, Smell My Mustache at 5-2. This really a surprise to everyone outside of the Southwest area. The fact that Smell My Mustache was going to be able to compete after 5 years of playoff drought. The fans are excited. They've been in the paper, it seems like, every week. And this team, active still, making moves, hungry, making trades. They had Andre Johnson, first of all, giving up a first-rounder in the process. Andre Johnson, slow start, but is on a Super Bowl contender with Houston. We know what he can do. He's still big. He's still strong. He might not be 100%, but he's getting there. I think a big second half for Andre Johnson.
Yeah, I think I really like the Mustaches team. I like what they've done. They had a great draft. Alfred Morris was a huge pickup. Spiller's played well, and I anticipate Spiller continuing to play well. I think that injury's past him. He's going to be a tough team to beat. We'll see if he holds up throughout the year. But can I give him my grade?
Sure.
I'm going to give him an A+.
Wow.
I think he's above and beyond exceeded what I thought he was going to do. And I
like it.
I think if you read the definition of an A+, or if you saw that on a report card, it means you're doing all the right things. And so far he has.
Moving on, the Stage 5 Clingers right now at the head of the pack of 4 teams, a group of 4 teams that are all 4-3, including myself and Mr. Bob Morin. Now, the Clingers kind of woke everybody up. It's like in the morning someone throws cold water in your face, slaps you around a little bit. 3-0. Talk of the town, darlings of the dance. Reality sets in. They drop 3 in a row and squeak out a win last week at the midway point to finish at 4-3. The problem is he's put up some monster numbers all season, especially early on where we talked about
it. Really inflated numbers. He put up like 150 against me the first week, and he's had another week where he did similar as far as the score goes. But he, I called it the last show, first or second.
You don't think he has? You don't think he has the backs?
I said, well, he was 3-0 when we had the first show, or 3-1.
Yeah.
I said he's going to mess it up. Someone will find a way to mess it up. It's going to be him.
Well, what's been the problem?
He doesn't have enough backs. He doesn't have depth at backs, and I think he relies too heavily on the Atlanta offense.
Yeah, he's got that Atlanta machine with
So they
Matt Ryan. But they've been productive, though. You can't blame Julio Jones and Rodney White and Matt Ryan.
Yeah, but you need to have more than that. And I just don't think he does. He relies too much on backs that are some of the most injury-prone backs there are, McFadden and Bush. I'd be scared if I had them in my backfield. If I had to put them in my lineup every week, I wouldn't look forward to playing fantasy, to be honest with you. That's a nightmare, and I couldn't even imagine it.
Now, this is a team that, again, has the reputation of always being young and always being ready over the years. Has right now Reggie Bush, who's not exactly young as well or healthy. You failed to mention him in the backfield.
I said Reggie Bush.
He does have a scary wide receiver core. We mentioned White.
Bush.
You did?
Yeah, I said Reggie Bush and McFadden.
Yeah, that's
Two
true.
of the most injury-prone backs.
Well, he's got Doug Martin then.
Yeah, Doug Martin.
That was
I like Doug Martin.
Yeah.
Just don't think he has enough. Well, we'll see. Can I give him my grade?
Yes, go ahead.
I want to give him a B-.
Okay.
I think his strong start was great. I just don't think he has enough pieces, and I think he's going to fall out of the playoff picture.
I'm not going to be
sooner than later.
I'm not going to be that harsh on the Clingers. I'll give them a B because, again, they've never made the playoffs, and they're in the hunt. So some credit's got to go somewhere. Give him a B. He hasn't I wouldn't say overachieved, but again, I think he's done a good job putting a team together that includes Brandon Marshall, Matt Ryan.
Marshall's
right. I mean, so.
Yeah, and I'm going to say one thing about the Clingers too. Say hi to D'Angelo Williams for me.
Yeah, he has not performed to expectation.
He has 2 weeks. I haven't had him. I think he only started him one of the weeks, but he's had minus 0.4, minus 0.4 and a plus 0.4. So he's at 0 points.
This is the mid-season report card here on the Fantasy Champion Show. I'm Nick Anastos along with Bob Morin, taking a deeper look into our fantasy league, the Dynasty League, year number 11. Year one of IDP play, by the way. And
let me say something really quick here. These next two teams, because they're ours, I'll talk about your team, and you talk about mine. I'll give you a grade, you give me a grade.
Okay, we're both 4 and 3 again, by the way.
Yeah, so Hempstead, which is this guy, he is in fourth place, tied for third, fourth place because of points, about 0.6 in front of me. 4 and 3, has the best quarterback in the league, Aaron Rodgers. Does he have anything else? I'm not really sure as far as his depth goes. I think he's kind of been overachieving, to be honest with you. And I would give you a B, though. I'm going to give you a higher grade than Sandler because, honestly, with what you have to work with, you've had some injuries, you've had some tough times. It hasn't been easy for you. I think you've managed to do pretty well. He's put a respectable team out there week in and week out, so I'm going to give you a B.
I'll take a B. I was always a B student, so
yeah.
That's fine with me. There is some concerns with my depth, and that has not been a secret.
You know this, yeah.
Has not been a secret. Our stable is thinner than it's ever been, but we have somehow found a way to navigate through the waters. It seems like every week I'm saying to myself, we're going to lose this week, we're going to lose this week. But we have a good defense, and that's why I mentioned earlier this was year one of the IDPs.
Yeah.
I think that has played in my hands by and large. I've probably outscored. I think I'm 5-2 defensively. Something like that. So I did know my defense going into the draft, and if you're moving into an IDP league, watch tape, watch games. It's easy. Play some Madden here and there. You get to know the names, and you can figure out what's going on. If you like football, period, it'll translate into the IDP game. So that's been an advantage for me. Now, again, thin it back. My wide receivers have been pretty good, at least the ones I have to play, by and large, and I was able to kind of strike gold on some of those bye weeks by plugging in role players, unsexy names, but matchup friendly, did step up. For instance, Santana Moss last week had 3 targets, 3 catches, and 2 touchdowns. I'll take that all
You
day.
played me earlier in the year, and you ended up beating me on a week where both you and I thought I was going to beat you just because your matchups were not good, and you had a lot of either hurt guys or some bye weeks.
Willis McGahee has been quietly very good.
Has been good.
Again, I think Steven Jackson has to have a better second half than he has so far in the first half.
I'd rather have
Right.
Steven Jackson than like Ben Jarvis Green,
Right.
to be honest with you.
And then, of course, we'll have, well, that's not saying much.
Well, he's not ranked higher.
I like Steven Jackson in the second half. I really do. And I have tight end weapons as well. Gonzalez should continue to produce in Atlanta's offense. So we're not done yet. Believe me, we'll be in the fight the whole way. Now, the New Hampshire Black Bears are the defending champs. They are also 4-3, part of this middle class, so to speak, of 4 teams that are 4-3. Now, traditionally, Tom Brady has been the man. Brady, still good, but so far, at least through 7 weeks, not a stud fantasy quarterback, but still obviously a name to keep an eye on, and the quarterback of the #1 offense in the league. Yeah, so he's been good. And, of course, Arian Foster has really been your engine for the last 3 years. So you have Brady and Foster automatically. I think you got a pretty good shot. Now, Bob is going to wheel and deal, as he usually does at the midway point. You know, you don't make just one move. You make like 2 or 3 moves.
I have a plan. Usually
at midweek, at mid-year.
I'll make 3 moves to if I think I have a chance at being a playoff team. Which right now at 4-3,
of course,
I've got all cylinders going. I'm talking to anybody who will talk to me right now about a guy that will help out my team, especially right now with all the bye weeks.
But you're disappointed with some of your guys, like Steve Smith.
Yeah, I think
You're high on. Percy Harvin owners are loving it.
I love Percy Harvin. I think I have a good defense. Had some inconsistencies in the kicker position all year, which
kicker's a wild card.
Yeah, it's a wild card. But when I'm getting outscored 100, to 50 every week, 2-1, that's not a good thing. People are putting on 15 or more, and I'm putting on 4. That's going to lose you some games, and I've lost some tight ones this year, and I've won some tight ones. So it could go either way.
All right, I'll give you the B.
Thank you.
You gave me a B. I'll give you a B. We basically have scored exactly the same amount of points at the halfway point. I'm a half a point ahead, 0.6, which is pretty ridiculous. All right, moving on. It's the mid-season report card here as we continue to go down the standings. So there's a lot of wiggle room here, even at the top. I mean, Golden Dome, not safe at 6-1.
No,
He's the first one to...
To me, I'm a game from him.
Right.
So.
And then Smell My Mustache at 5-2. He's enjoying the ride. Stage 5 clingers know that they can collapse. My team certainly is capable of losing, although I like my matchup this week against the next team we'll talk about, and that's the Big Sleep, the Commish. I've caught him on a good week.
Yeah.
I've caught him with his troops scattered.
Caught him with his pants down.
Right. Maurice Jones-Drew, out until further notice with a sprained foot. Ray Rice, out on a bye week. Ray Rice owner's not happy this week in Week 8.
No.
And then he's got Greg Jennings, who continues to be a question mark in Green Bay, and it's not looking good. So that's 3 solid starters that he is not going to have against me. Now, he does have Peyton Manning.
Oh, yeah. Which he could have a...
I have Aaron Rodgers.
Yes.
So it may come down to the quarterbacks.
Yeah, we'll see. He's obviously, going into the season, we took him as definitely being one of the better teams. He's on paper, had a great team the past 5 years, I would say. Maybe
playoff team.
Longer. Yeah.
Well, it was a span. He went to 3 consecutive championship games, won 2 of the 3.
He's always good.
And then last year was in the playoffs.
Yeah, he's always a good team. Right now,
he's got Lynch still.
Is really showing his depth isn't really there right now. He's still scoring points though, just not as much as we've seen in recent years. But
at full strength.
Full strength, yeah, but...
You're talking about Jones, Drew, Lynch, and Rice.
We are, Jennings. And he has Gronk.
Yeah.
And he has Eli and Peyton, so you can play matchups there and get a good quarterback every week, in my mind. So, yeah, he has a solid team. I just think after those guys we just named, it gets a lot...
Kenny Britt.
Yeah, Kenny Britt, but Kenny Britt's not a star.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's not. No, he's definitely not a star.
Well, I love people that have Kenny Britt on their team and they mention him. I'm like... Okay, well, he's had maybe 10 good games in his career.
Yeah, he's not mentionable.
Because he's an athlete, and I understand, but the name appeal isn't gonna do anything for me. So.
All right, Big Sleep.
Let's give him a grade.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him a B. I'll give him a B.
Yeah, I'm gonna be.
He's 4-3. He gets a B.
No, is he 4-3? Yeah.
He's 4-3.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably have to go to about a C+ with him because I had his team very high in the beginning of the year, and I understand injuries happen, things happen, but still,
right.
you got to have replacement plans. You got to have plans in place. I just don't think his team is as deep as it has been in years, but still a threat, and still I could see in the playoffs, definitely.
This is the midseason report card here on the Fantasy Champion Show, taking a look at our Dynasty League. I'm Nick Anastos along with Bob Morin. It's the midway point. It's that time to get serious for fantasy owners. They need to get serious when 7 games are in the bag, bye weeks are there, injuries are in full force. This is that turbulent time of the season. And oftentimes teams have a good first half, and then overnight, seemingly, it goes away. Now, same thing I think can happen to a team that has been disappointed so far. But you know, each week here from here on out becomes that much bigger. And that means that individual decision becomes that much bigger week in and week out. So this is the kind of look yourself in the mirror, check yourself time of the year.
Yeah, and I think
you agree there, or was I too overboard?
No, I agree. This is huge. Halfway point. We already see the bottom of our league. He's a seller already.
Yeah.
He knows what's going on. He's 1-6. He knows he's not going to really have a shot, so he's selling. But to touch base on the next team in the standings, you just said all that stuff about getting ready, and this is one team that I think he's still on his honeymoon. I don't think he's back here on Earth, and it's showing. I think he has great backs, great quarterback, Rob, the Zerps. What are the record? 3-4?
Yep.
So, yeah, he's got some great pieces, don't get me wrong. I love his running backs. I think Gore, though, is an injury concern. He's been healthy this year. He's been producing, but he's one of those guys I'm expecting to go down anytime. I know it's bad to say, but it's the truth. But Breeze is a guy who can carry a team. We've seen it, many years with me, with Brady, even you this year right now, a few games with Rodgers. Yeah, he's, you have to admit it. But this guy, not impressed with his team. His wide receivers, I think, are garbage, and I'm gonna have to give him. I'm gonna give him a C-.
Wow.
Yeah, because I think.
Now you know that he has scored more points than both of us.
I understand that, but it doesn't matter. Points don't matter. What's the record? That's what I care about.
Well, he's a game behind. 3-4. He's still in the mix. He's a game out of the playoffs.
I think he's a pretender.
All right. Fair enough. I'm not going to be that harsh. I'll give him I was going to give him a B. I would have given him a B if he had 4 wins. You're right, because it is about W's.
It is.
It's about W's.
You're the biggest preacher of that.
I know. It's all about W. I think tiebreaker should be head-to-head record.
So do I. Yeah. I think it's garbage that's not.
But he's 3-4. He's a game out. He's in the mix, and they do have a shot to win every week, which is he was the high scorer of the week in week 7.
I'm being very hard on him for a reason, just because I like to. I know he'll get a rise out of this, but he does have a good team. I'm sticking to my grade, though. I don't think he's going to be there in the end.
All right, so you give him a C-. I'll give him a B-.
Yeah.
Moving on, 2-5. The Smooths.
You think is this the
big Smooths?
Are we going to call it in the basement yet? Where are we right now?
This is that bottom tier, we'll call it.
All right.
Bottom tier. Smooths at 2-5. Autumn Wood at 2-5. And then the S-Faced at 1-6. We'll start with the Smooths at 2-5.
Yeah, Smooths. We knew they were probably going to have some trouble. His backs aren't that great.
Sean Green.
The surprise for him, though, is RG3. That is really. I'm surprised he doesn't have a better record. I've looked at his points. He has some good points scored. I think I'm going to give him his grade right now. I'm going to give him a B. I know his record isn't good, but I like what he's done, and I like the future of the Smooths.
I don't know. 2-5. Too many L's. Too many L's.
I know too many L's.
Too many L's.
I'm looking at more of this too, even with the Zerps. When I gave him that grade, I'm looking more about the future too and the season.
Well, I think he's got some pieces though.
Yeah,
he has.
The Zerps?
No,
the Smooths. That's why I gave him a B. I think he has a good team.
I mean, he's got Macklin. He's got Fitzgerald.
Yeah, I like what he did.
He's got Green.
RG3.
He's got RG3.
He's got a good team.
He still doesn't have enough though.
He's had some really bad luck too. Some of these guys that he's drafted haven't hit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he's one of those owners. Everyone has him.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'll give him a C. I'll give him an average grade because it's not impressive. James Savoy knows it.
It isn't.
It's not impressive at 2-5.
No.
But I think they can win some games in the second half.
I
will say that. I think they can win some games in the second. That they can play some spoiler down the stretch.
Oh yeah, there's other teams that I play, and I'm not. I'm not scared of any team, but when I go,
I haven't played him yet, by the way.
I see the Smooths, I say, he could beat me. There's other teams in the league. I look at their team and I'm like, wow, I'm going to win this week. So that's where I'm basing that grade off.
All right, Autumn Wood at 2-5. Now, again, this is the midseason report card. We're going down the standings from 1 through 10. Nick Anastos, Bob Morin, year 11 of a dynasty league, year 1 of the IDP format. Autumn Wood at 2-5 took over for an owner who left town and left the house on fire, basically. Yeah. Took the team out of the trash. Took his lumps last year at 1-13, made some questionable moves while doing it, at least according to you. But now is 2-5, and it comes with an asterisk because he's won 2 of the last 3. And he is much better from a competitive nature than he was a season ago.
Yeah, he has 0 depth. Obviously, all the players that are recognizable on his team are starting. But
I don't know.
He doesn't have a lot of depth. Come on. I know he's Richardson, he has Bradshaw. Can't really name anybody else after that. I know his receivers. He has Bo, right?
Yeah.
He
Cobb.
has Cobb, who I really like.
Bolden has been good.
Bolden's good. Yeah. So he has his lineup, and that's really it. And I'm saying,
I thought he had another back.
Well, even so, it doesn't matter. I don't think he has the depth that a lot of other teams in the league have. It's not his fault. It's what he inherited. I think he's doing the right thing, and I'm going to give him a B+, higher than the Smooths, because I think I like the direction he has the team going. He added some nice pieces with Richardson and Cobb. I think those 2 guys alone, you can build around them.
Well, let's take a look at his draft, can we? Because he took Ronnie Hillman in the first round, who has not had an opportunity behind McGahee, and I think is more slated down the road for a 3rd down role because of his size. He had Ryan Williams go down, who wasn't doing much, though. He had 1 game of 80-plus yards. Everything else was about a yard per carry. Yeah. Arizona's got a terrible situation up front. And then, really, there's no other picks that jump out, are there? Well, was that even in the draft, or was that a keeper?
No. He drafted him because he
drafted him.
He took him
that is a good pick.
Right before I wanted to take him. Actually, he was high on my draft board. I think he might have taken him in the same area I took Rashad Jennings. In that area. So.
And how'd that turn out?
Well, he's on your team now.
That's correct.
Why don't you let me know next week there, wise guy.
All right, you give him a B+.
Yeah, I just like what he's doing with the team. I don't think he's messing it up.
So
you're better. I'm going on.
You're adjusting your score based on the different situation.
Everything.
It's more of a subjective report.
They're a student.
Based on expectations for the team.
They're a student, and the Players Club is the college, is the school. This is what I'm giving them right now. Just for it has a lot to do with everything. How their moves they've made, maybe some of their points against. They had some bad luck. I'm just giving a grade on what I think they're doing, what I see them doing.
All right, B+. My partner from Beals Road, I can't give him a B. I'll give him a B-. Can't give him higher than a team that's 4-3. I gave the 4-3 as a B.
I understand that you should, it should. But that's no fun, going A. We're just gonna go down.
I will acknowledge though that
A, then B, then C.
Listen, I'll acknowledge here because when you take over teams in the NFL, you usually get a 3-year window as a head coach. Yeah. You get a 3-year window. You get that first year to rebuild. The second year is the bridge. You're supposed to improve.
At least be like 8-8. Improve your record.
Improve and keep it moving what you started in year 1, and then year 3 is supposed to be the playoff year.
Yeah, boom or bust.
So, at 2-5 in year 2, I don't know if you're that excited about it.
No.
That's why he gets the B-.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point.
All right. Finally, in the basement, and speaking of not getting excited, Team S-Faced at 1-6. Traditionally, Bob, a very competitive unit, included big fantasy stars, Chris Johnson, Michael Turner, who's past his prime at this point.
Farts in the wind.
He's got Megatron. He had Andre Johnson before trading him this week to Smell My Mustache. Again, we talked about identifying buyers and sellers, self-identifying whether you're a buyer or a seller. He knew he was a seller. Big yard sale all week. Bob and the Vultures trying to circle the wagon, so to speak. And
I'm in trade talks with them right now, but
right.
Might as well tell everybody here because a lot of people in the league have big mouths anyways, and everybody seems to find out. So
Well, you like. Let's talk a little bit about.
I don't like anything about his team.
Well, you like Turner.
Not that I like him.
You're looking for pieces.
I know a guy that's going to fit on my team. I see Turner.
Pieces.
I don't like Turner. I know what he's going to do for me the next 7,
Right.
8 weeks.
He's a piece.
He's a piece, exactly, to me. I don't care anything else. I don't think he's good. I think he's not going to be very good next year, and I'm looking for what he can do for me now.
So if you're the owner of a 1-6 team, I think you have to sell everything.
Yeah.
Strip it down thin to about a core of I would say a core of about 6 or 7 guys that you can count on, and then of course you can make moves to repair the bottom third of the roster, and then all of a sudden you're loaded with draft picks. So I think you have to you identify 5 or 6. I mean, we're keeping 10. This is a dynasty league, not a typical keeper league. It's a dynasty league where you're allowed to keep 10 and really keep it deep. I think you have to go ahead and, again, keep 5, 6, maybe 7 guys, and then sell the rest at discount prices if need be.
Yeah, just get rid of it. You don't need that. You don't want them anymore. You know what I mean?
Right.
The guys that are at the end of their careers or
like flex options now.
Exactly, and I think he sees that, and we already saw.
Although he traded Andre Johnson.
Yeah, which I don't,
I still think he can be a top 10 receiver.
But he got a first-round pick. Maybe he's real high on that. I know the draft next year. I'm hearing it's not very strong, but also it's hard to tell that. I don't like when people talk like that. But,
right.
Let me decide if the draft's going to be good. When I'm holding up another trophy next year.
All right, let's give him the grade. This one you may want to hide the children. It's an F with a capital F and written in red marker.
Yeah, I'm giving him an F, and I am sending a note home to him because
yes.
His team, they are done.
It's time for a parental meeting.
It's time. He's actually already in Hawaii, so he's already on vacation. So
he is.
His head's elsewhere. No wonder he's 1-6. If I was in Hawaii, my team would suck too.
All right, mid-season report card. Final review. Golden Dome at 6-1. I give him an A. Bob gives him an A. Smell my mustache at 5-2. I give him an A. Bob gives him an A+. It's pretty comforting coming from a northerner. Stage 5 Clingers, 4-3. I give him a B. Bob gives him a B-. The Hempstead Hooer Killers, 4-3. I give myself a B. Bob gives me a B as well. New Hampshire Black Bears, 4-3. I give Bob a B. What do you give yourself? Well, I don't think we touched on that.
No, we didn't. I'm going to give myself we'll give myself a B+.
Sure you would. Big Sleep.
I think a B is realistic. I was just being one of those people.
All right. Big Sleep at 4-3. I like the B. You said a C+.
Yeah.
Not going to sit well with the commish.
Well, the commish and I don't always agree with the commish, so I'm just going to do it.
All right. Those, by the way, 4 teams at 4-3 are all fighting for the bottom 2 playoff spots. Just a noteworthy portion of the program. The Zerps, a game out at 3-4. I'd say B-. Tough Mr. Rockwood over here says C-.
That's what he gets for putting his nose into other people's business.
The Smooths at 2-5. I give him a C. Bob says B. Autumn Wood at 2-5. I give Smith Beals a B-. You give him a B+.
Yeah, and that's a tough job for him.
Finally, we are in agreement at the bottom. Team S faced 1-6, flunked the first half. And that is the midseason report card here on the Fantasy Champion Show. Hope you enjoyed the program. MC the Brick signing off behind the camera. My partner, Bob Morin. I'm Nick Anastos. Tune in again next week, Wednesday night, Week 9 edition of the Fantasy Champion Show. It'll be back to business. We'll take a look at some trade strategies and general trade talk as well next week. So long, folks.